Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday night weekly race on standard flags. Today we have Zarnax 42 up to NG, Elmore St. James, and Asmati Games that will be racing on our stream. We will also have another several players will also be streaming. Will also be running this particular seed. So we may get some updates from them as events progress, even though they're not going to be on this stream. But this is going to be an interesting opportunity to kind of see where these guys are. Of course, these are all well-known names in the community. They've all run tournaments previously, so it'll be nice to see what they're capable of doing. We're just having the last of the members go ahead and ready up and prepare themselves, so we should be starting fairly soon. In the meantime, of course, this is Dragon Warrior Randomizer, and as the name implies, it's the classic Dragon Warrior that you may have remembered from your old Nintendo Entertainment System, but a little different. The goal is obviously going to be the same. Your goal is to defeat the Dragon Lord, return the Orb of Light to the King, and rescue the world, Elfgard. But things are a little bit different here. The spells, when you learn your spells, are going to be randomized, although by level 16, if you haven't had them by then, you will get them all. The terrain is going to be randomized. The various maps, the cities, and the dungeons will not be randomized, so those will be vanilla, and you may see a lot of bonking around in dungeons if they don't have access to any torches, because these are some top-tier players, and they've got the entire map just pretty much memorized in the back of their head. They can bonk around and be perfectly safe doing it. Me, well, they don't call me Sneaky the Lost for nothing. And of course, tracking this game is going to be Kamion Renokai, our lead tracker. He'll be the one flipping the switches in the back behind the curtain, making sure that we can keep up with everything going on, because things can go pretty fast sometimes, depending on how the map rolls. You'll also notice that all four of these runners are using lowercase z as their name. This actually does have a mechanical impact for those not aware. And it will basically... the name will determine which stats progress faster. Lowercase z is your classic strength hit point build, as it is referred to. And here we go. We have begun. First chest is Fairy Water. Second chest is Erdrick's Token. Third is, of course, the Magic Key. Doesn't look like they have any spells. Sometimes if you start off with a return spell, you can save the key, use it to get early access, and things along those lines. Looks like Zarnax is taking an early safety save, so is Asmati. Meanwhile, Elmore St. James is going out into the world and has defeated a magician and has gained a level. Power increased by 1, response speed by 4, hit points by 6, magic points by 10. That is a lot of magic and a decent amount of hit points there for that level. That was also a pretty solid hit he had on that magician. They probably started off with some decent strength here, which is good. As you can see, all four players right now, we're just trying to get some early levels, get some stats. The general theory at this point is, when in doubt, grind it out, and that's really what they're doing. Looks like Up to NG took a bad death and just hit the reset button since he was going back home anyway. Save a little bit of time there just by hitting that reset button. But we do have this mountain range here, a bridge, some swamps are in the area. Looks like to the north there's a little bit of a swamp that might be blocking off some early exploration until they either get more hit points, maybe a heal spell, something along those lines to be able to get things taken care of. Furthermore, we've got Okay. Ooh, looks like Zarnax went down there. Elmore has a slight experience leap, but early days. Early days. You never know. Okay, let's see. Ooh, looks like Asmati running into a wolf with a stop spell did manage to run away from it, though. A little bit stronger than they're really looking for at the moment. Elmore picking on this Drakey, a little bit of a murder bat action. Ah, okay. That was fairy water that Up to NG used there on a magician, probably what Elmore did as well, to get his second level. Oh, looks like Drolls have a sleep spell. That's an unpleasant surprise. And first cave found is Freebie Cave. And there found the Fairy Flute. Not the best item in the game, but not a bad find. It at least ticks a box. And if you run into any golems, it does at least guarantee that you can run away from them without having to worry about it. All right, so. All right, another level looks like for Up to NG. No, not quite. Okay. Yes. Looks like we're gonna see a lot of Drakeys. Hopefully there's no murder bats, but we'll see. Zarnax trying to take down this poltergeist, normally a little bit more powerful of an enemy than you might normally want to try and tackle at this point in the game. But slowly chipping away at it, does not manage to get it though. Asmati also getting killed and getting sent back home. Yes, fire-breathing slimes. It is only baby breath, but it is still nasty enough. Georgia Wood is 30 level. It's gone to the third level. 2, 3, 8, 2, and a new spell at level 3. It is the spell of return. Not exactly the... I mean, it's a useful spell. It's a very useful spell. It can send you home, but then again, so can a Death Warp, so perhaps less useful. Probably looking for either hurt or heal would have been the two really big pickups, with maybe sleep as another good solid spell to pick up. Those are the ones that they're definitely going to be looking for to try and tackle some more powerful enemies. Yeah, with level 3 and the extra attack power, ghosts are now on the menu. They do give more experience than Drakeys. You know, of course, you're going to take any Drakey that comes your way. I mean, you might as well. It looks like Asmati trying to do a bit of exploration now. Getting a little bit tired of getting killed at these low levels and is trying to wander around a bit. Zarnax using the icon of Tove, the dog from Dragon Quest IV in Talon's campaign, is just took down a magician and got his second level. At Fairy Water was used again as an item in combat to do the same damage as a hurt spell. Very good use for that there. But right now, I mean, it does look like up to NG did get an experience lead over Elmore, but still very early days. Anything can still happen here. Level 4, very good level. 9 more strength. Now they can actually start taking on things like magicians, scorpions. Um, Definitely a much better lineup now. In here, up to NG is using the return spell as a little bit of a shortcut to get directly outside without having to walk out. And then he picked up his fairy flute. He's not going to be walking too far, it looks like. Ooh, Asmati getting taken down by a Drakey. Still level 1, unfortunately. Currently trailing in the experience department, but again, early days. It's only 8 minutes into this match. Anything can still happen. Meanwhile, Elmore now taking down a ghost single-handedly, quite handily actually. Up to NT now taking on this magician, since he's got level 4 and the extra strength. Shouldn't be that big a problem for him. And he's going to really start grinding here. They're really neck and neck here, up to NG and Elmore St. James's as far as experience points going, trading that lead back and forth. Hit points still really not where you'd like to see, but, you know, who knows. Asmati does make it to level 2 and dies in the swamp. So there is a way through that swamp. They're a little bit low on hit points. Probably don't really want to try it just yet. Zarnax will find Freebie Cave and the Fairy Flute. But wandering around up there is getting him some better encounters, some Drakeys, but also he saw that Poltergeist, I think, is what he's really looking for up there. They're pretty decent experience points, and now that he's level 4, he could probably take them on fairly consistently. Oh no, Zarnax ran into a golem with Dragon Lord breath, attacked before he was ready, did not give him a chance to blow the flute, and got sent back home. Golems are definitely going to be scary. We know they have DL2 breath, we don't know if they've got anything else. That's definitely something you probably don't want to run into. Fortunately, they do have the Fairy Flute, all 4 of them do now, so if they do run into it and they don't ambush like they just did, you should be able to at least escape from them. Ooh, level 5, granted the spell of Hurt More. Now that really opens up the door as far as what enemies they can tackle. With Hurt More, you can take down, for example, this wolf, no problem, wyverns, even axe knights you can usually one-shot with a Hurt More, or at least hurt it substantially enough to finish it off. This is really going to open the door for a lot of experience gains very, very rapidly. And speaking of which, there's the next level right there. 8 more power, 2, 7 hit points, 1 magic, and another spell, which is Heal More! Level 6, we have both Hurt and Heal More on tap. This race is on. And there's Elmore St. James picking up level 6 and his Heal More spell. With Heal More and Hurt More on tap, this race just got real. I would not be surprised if we saw up to NG and Elmore starting to wander about the world, explore a little bit further. Now that they've got the tools necessary to survive some of these nastier encounters, they can afford to start working on their laundry list of chores. Because, of course, you know how it works with any classic fantasy. You work for the king, he gives you a list of chores you have to do and get things taken care of. In this case, we're going to need 3 items. The Erdrick's token, which was apparently held in trust for the heir of Erdrick, which is your character, in the chest in the throne room. In addition, you will need to find the harp, the silver harp, and you will need to find the stones of sunlight. And once you find the harp, you will need to find the appropriate fellow to turn in the harp for the staff of rain. And then you will need to find the appropriate fellow to turn all 3 items, the Staff of Rain, the Stones of Sunlight, and the token to get the Rainbow Drop. And that will give you access to the final Castle Sharlock and the Dragon Lord. And 35 hit points at level 7. Okay, it's respectable, I guess. Looks like up to NG is still in the when in doubt, grind it out section. I don't really blame him with only 35 hit points. Yes, you have Heal More on tap, but you still only have 35 hit points, and you're still in one-shot territory from the more powerful members of the enemy's cast. Oh, level 7 added 35 extra hit points. Oh my. Yeah, now they're definitely going to start wandering off. Yeah, 82 hit points at level 7. Holy moly. Yeah, you're going to see them start to wander off. They will need to go ahead and get their laundry list of chores to do. And that means wandering out into the world. Not only that, but they're going to probably want to get some better gear. Punching the Dragon Lord in the face, while stylistic, is probably not going to be particularly productive unless your name happens to be Saitama. Up to NG finding out about the fire-breathing golems. Ooh, a knight. That's a good one-shot kill target for the Hurt More. Ah, yes, I am corrected. Akira Toriyama did do the artwork for the Dragon Quest series, so it would actually probably be Goku rather than Saitama. But even then, he would probably be trying to do Hurt More, aka Kamehameha. Asmati, now level 5, gets Hurt More. as well. Zarnax also level 5 with Hurt More, so they're going to start trying to catch up as quick as they can to their respective competitors. This is still anybody's race. This is still very, very early days. I suspect this may come down to a grind, depending on how the stats run out, and at which case it's really about who finds the appropriate grind faster. Now, that's an awful lot of bridges on Asmati's screen right there. If we find a small swamp, we might want to check that for a mirror. Oh wait, wrong Dragon Quest game. Yeah, it looks like Up2NG is really liking this area. You've got these knights that are worth a decent amount of experience point and are one-shottable with this Hurt More spell. He's just going, you know what, I'm just going to get some levels here. I'm just going to go ahead and just grind on these knights, and then just, when I get tired of it, keep going. Magidrakes also have some annoying baby breath. Ooh, Asmati taking down a werewolf. That's a decent chunk of experience points. Unfortunately, Up2NG ran into a stone man, and so did Elmore St. James at the same point. They don't cast anything except Punch More, but that's going to be enough for them at this level. Asmati using a heal spell instead of Heal More simply because he doesn't have the hit points necessary that Heal More would actually be relevant. It will once he gets his next level, though. Elmore taking down a werewolf as well. Question in chat. Is there a reason why they all chose the letter Z as a name? Yes, there is. One of the undocumented mechanics of this game is that your stat progression will be at least partially dependent on your character's first 4 letters of his name. A lowercase z is what is known as a strength HP build, wherein these stats initially start lower than average, but will progress at a faster rate. So they will end up at higher levels, higher than they would have been otherwise. And strength and hit points generally are going to be your 2 biggest choke points for stats once you're trying to go after the Dragon Lord. So it's kind of the meta build, typically speaking. Zarnax finding a dead end, but at least he can mark that corner off the map, and did get level 7 and the amazing 35 hit points. Up2NG ran into a Demon Knight, noped out of that fight, and I do not blame him for it. They are very resistant to Hurt More, which is his only way of hurting them. Elmore St. James got bricked by a Stone Man again. Up2NG checking the swamp very carefully, making sure there's not that little one-tile gap that's actually a connection instead of a dead end. But no, it is in fact a dead end, and checking out this dungeon. And this dungeon appears to be... Oh, okay, that's gonna be Grave. Now, you'll notice he's just wandering around. Ow, Droll Magi with DL2 breath. That's a toasty thing. Now, I knew it was Grave because of the direction he went. There are going to be chests here. He gets an herb, he gets another herb, and he gets the fighter's ring, and then puts it on. You don't know how many times I have forgotten to put on that ring and having absolutely no benefit from it. It does give a +2 to attack power in the randomizer. There was actually a bug preventing it from doing that in the vanilla game. Asmati ran into a golem, but immediately managed to run away. Question in chat, is there a penalty for deaths like loss of XP? Loss of XP, no, but you do lose half your gold. We haven't seen any towns yet, which is kind of a little disappointing. But then again, nobody really has an amazing amount of gold. Asmati's got about 400. That would be enough for maybe a small shield, maybe a copper sword if one was on offer. Get you at least a little bit of stats going. Up to NG running into a golem, blowing the fairy flute, and noping right out of that. Zarnax remembering a little bit too late that wizards are very resistant to the effects of Hurtmore. Unfortunately, wizards, being a Charlock tier enemy, do have a very high agility and are very likely to block you. As you saw there, Asmati did manage to run away from it, but it blocked him several times. So far, this is a fairly linear map, but we haven't seen this whole map yet. Now, one of those 5 bridges is a Sparko bridge, technically, in that you have a bridge leading to a single tile by itself, named after one of the runners, Sparkover, who started the meme that one of these days, that tile is going to be the overland search tile, and so search it just to make sure that you don't you avoid having to find the town of Cantlin, get the coordinates, and go try and count them out. One day it might happen, but today is probably not that day. Ooh, Elmore St. James running into Armored Knight, another one of the Charlock tier enemies, one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, and you just found out why. He just cast Axmore and sent Elmore back home. Next level for up to NG, 25, 11, 6. Holy moly, look at that. And the sleep spell. Now that he's got a sleep spell, the stone men are a lot less dangerous because you can sleep and run. When an enemy is asleep, you are guaranteed to run away. It cannot block you when it is asleep. So that is a very viable strat, and stone men are notoriously vulnerable to the sleep spell. And since they still do 30 to 40 damage with a single punch, not something they really want to try and fight right now. Meanwhile, Elmore taking down a knight with a Hurtmore spell. That's what it's there for. Asmati looks like taking on a werewolf. Ooh, up to NG running into an armored knight with a preemptive attack, no less. Drops 1 Hurtmore on it, keeps coming at him. 43 hit points. Ow! Second Hurtmore. Hits the Armored Knight, takes it out, 172 XP. Thank you and have a nice day. Now, we haven't seen any towns yet, which is a little bit problematic. The towns that we probably really want to see would be Rimildar, the place to buy keys, Cole, the mythical Tower of Cole, with a search spot that is 4 steps south of the Bath and Cole, would be 2 very good towns to find. Question in chat, why are keys important? Well, there are several areas that are locked behind doors, and you need to use keys to open doors. And keys are a consumable resource in this game, and doors do reset when you leave the screen. However, there is a key vendor in the backside of Tantagel Castle where you start off at, but he's behind a door. So once you get a key and you have enough gold, you can continue maintaining your key count, but you still have to find one to begin with. Also, there are several chests in the armory at Tantagel Castle, as well as the lower end of the grave, and of course the back end of Garenham has 3 chests as well. So there are several areas behind keys that could be potentially very useful to the runners. Ooh, unfortunately, Asmati ran into a Demon Knight and did not come out ahead. Zarnax taking out a werewolf with a Hurt Mort, what that spell is precisely for. Ah, Asmati was out of MP. Ah, shame. Well, that does make it a convenient death warp then to refill all of your stats. Meanwhile, Zarnax, running into a stone man, tried to run away, couldn't manage it, and got sent back home as well. Up to NG, tackling this warlock, decides to nope out of that fight after getting hurt. Found yet another dead end. Yeah, level 7 and level 9 have been just simply mind-blowing levels for stats. And I promise we did not turn on the big swamp flag, but there's a fairly substantial swamp right there that they are getting through. Yeah, level 10 with 13 strength is another solid level. Zarnak still doing a bit of grinding here, taking out these wolves. Ah, we finally found our first town, and it is the town of Cole. There is a search spot 4 steps south of the path in Cole, and there's a shop here. He does have 800. Buys the hand axe, good value pick. It'll give him some thing, and chainmail, which gives him some much needed defense. That will definitely at least blunt the effects of those stoneman fists. And Erdrick's armor! Oh my! Well, that was a little bit of a waste of the 300 gold for the chainmail. Why most runners tend to get the search spot first just for that occasion, but that's okay. I would be more than happy to pay 300 just to get trolled by immediately replacing it with the best armor in the game. So, why is it the best armor in the game? Well, first off, complete immunity to barrier tiles and swamp tiles. As you can see, he's walking through the swamp, not taking damage anymore. Asmati finding grave as well, so he'll find that there's not much there except a fighter's ring. But going back to that Erdrick's armor, in addition, it reduces the damage that Dragon Breath, the DL2 Breath, and the Hurt and Hurt More spell do to you, renders you completely immune to stop spell, and you heal 1 point per step. So, one of the best pieces of gear, pretty much required if you actually want to take on the Dragon Lord in any reasonable period of time. And definitely puts up to NG in a commanding position for now. Again, this ain't over until it's over, but that definitely gives him an advantage over his opponents. Elmore St. James now checking out that dead-end swamp to make sure it is in fact a dead end, because these maps have trolled players by putting something important at the end there before. Armored Knight taking down by up to NG. We do jokingly refer to the Armored Knight as the AK-47 due to how hard they hit. As you can see, Asmati not faring so well, but then again, he was out of MP anyway, so he probably wanted a death warp anyway. Whoa! Level 11 is another amazing level, and we have found the town of Breckenary, home of the 6 Gold Inn. We'll leave a torch on for you. It is the cheapest town. It is the cheapest inn in the entire game at a mere 6 gold. Yeah, with these stat gains, there probably will be no grind. It will be as soon as we find the stuff, we're going. With the way these stats have been piling on. However, we still have found no keys. We still haven't found the harp or the stones of sunlight. We still haven't found Big Stick either. So we still have a lot of things to find. We also haven't found either the Staff Cave or the Jerk Cave. The Jerk Cave being the place you go to turn in the staff, the stones, and the token to get your rainbow drop. Named so because if you do not have the token, he is quite rude with you and kicks you out. Question in chat, am I the only one who thinks the Armored Knight should be the AK-74? Probably. The AK-74 is chambered in 5.56, while the classic AK-47 is chambered in 7.62 short. So, yeah. Ooh, Elmore St. James running into a Blue Knight, almost dying, but does manage to escape the clutches. Up to NG, going back to the 6 Gold Inn to rest and refresh while continuing exploring. Elmore St. James's exploration came to an end. Oh, we have a Charlock sighting! Up to NG has found Charlock. And another town just north of Charlock. And it is Rivildar, the place to buy keys. This is going to open up several key areas. Sorry, it was kind of inevitable. And now he's probably going to check out the, yep, he's going to check out the shop, see what's on offer here. He doesn't need armor, but a weapon, oh, like that broadsword, could be quite handy once he gets the 1500. He will spend 2 keys to find out what is in this chest. What's in the chest? What's in the chest? Nothing! You got nothing. Well, okay, there's a torch in there, but you just spent 2 keys to get a single torch. Not the best return on investment there. However, there are 4 chests here, 690 gold, so there is a potential gold grind involved. A key to replace the one he just spent. A death necklace, so that's a little bit more gold, and an herb. Now he's going to go ahead and restock on his keys in the back of Tentacle Castle, and he's going to go ahead and check out the basement. And it looks like it is Swamp Cave. What he is going to now is the trap tile in Swamp Cave, and it is a blue dragon on here. Now, this is an important thing here, especially in most races. I don't know about this one. They've been getting stats fast and furious here. But in most cases, you are going to get to a point where you're going to need to grind some experience, and a blue dragon is worth 180 experience points per kill, and you're guaranteed to get it every time. Meanwhile, Elmore St. James did find Erdrick's armor, and then is going to go to this store. And with 800, he's got enough for the hand axe. Now, the silver shield is available in coal, and we do theoretically have a gold grind available. This could get quite interesting. Holy moly, another 14 attack power at level 12. And now he's going to check the other side while carrying the princess with him, and immediately walks into Garenham. He does go ahead and stock up on some herbs while he's here. We'll probably check out the back door. Meanwhile, Elmore St. James has found a red dragon. Oh, looks like wraiths have baby breath. Looks like up to NG going to go ahead and spend the night with the princess. And let's see what's in these 3 chests. First is the silver harp in Garenham. The next, unfortunately, is empty. And the third is the Stones of Sunlight! Both key items in the same area. This is why those keys were so important. And behind here is the jerk. Unfortunately, you do need the Staff of Rain. He will be coming back here, but he needs to find the Staff Cave before he can go talk to the jerk and get the Rainbow Drop. But now he is very close, in fact, to being able... Oh, there's another town. He's going to check this out. It is the town of Hawksnest. Now, there is a search tile there where the vanilla game has Erdrick's armor behind an Axe Knight. Here we have a golem. And he's going to go ahead and fairy flute. I do not blame him. And he's actually going to try for it. He's doing 23 damage per hit. Golem wakes up. Remember, Golem does have DL2 breath. He cannot afford to take that. I mean, he does have Erdrick's armor now, so the max hit on that is going to be 48, but that is still a lot of damage taking. Meanwhile, Asmari just found, I believe that is coal. Zarnax just found Breckenary. $126 hit points max is getting very close to where you want to be. It's more than the 100 that you usually want, but with 133, there's another trick you can do with that death necklace that we found earlier. And there's yet another town. This is where everybody's living, on the other side of the continent. Completely passes it up, since he knows that whatever is in that town he doesn't really care about. That's gotta be Cantlin, though. And it doesn't look like he's going to be very interested in coordinates. And here is... Tablet Cave. Now, Tablet Cave is interesting because there are no encounters in Tablet Cave, which can actually be a low-key trap for new players. Because there are no enemies, if you get lost bonking around in the dark... Oh, there's a cursed belt. You could end up soft-locked and have to reset. It happened to me before. Actually. But of course, these guys, they know how to bonk around this cave in the dark, and he's got Radiance, so it doesn't matter there at this point. But that is low-key one of the dangers of that particular cave. Meanwhile, Elmore St. James, having dove the bottom of Mountain Cave, not really finding anything that important. Except the key, of course, so now that means he doesn't need to go find Rimuldar. He has a key now. Well, there's a large shield. I'm surprised he didn't pick it up. Oh, he's already got one. Okay. And the coordinates. 12 south, 69 to the east. Nice. Now, they don't call me Sneaky the Lost for nothing. I would go ahead and return the princess to her father to pick up the Goinland positioning system, the GPS. However, most of these players are probably going to be able to count that out. And it actually has to be the sword, because there are no other items it could possibly be at this point. So, he's almost certainly going to go ahead and get those coordinates taken care of, because that is the most powerful weapon in the game, and would be a substantial upgrade from the axe he currently possesses. Question in chat, did you have to rescue the princess in Frenella? Technically, no. The princess was pretty much used to be able to find Erdrick's token in the middle of the swamp in the overland. The old man in Cantland would give you the coordinates and you'd have to go find it, and it was so obnoxiously obtuse to get to that unless you knew which tile it actually was, you needed a princess to go find the exact coordinates. But if you were a speedrunner, or if you'd played the game a million times and knew exactly which square to go to, you could bypass the princess entirely, find the token, and beat the game without ever having rescued the princess. But then, what kind of hero would you be without having rescued a princess? Responses from chat: a faster hero, an efficient one, and of course the inevitable, oh, but thou must! Yes, this is actually the game where "But Thou Must" came from. And that actually comes from the Princess Gwendolyn herself. You basically can't refuse her once she starts asking you. Now, at level 12, we've got 9, almost 10 heal mores on tap. We've got more than 100 hit points. Once he picks up the sword, he should be ready to go take on the Dragon Lord himself at level 12. I mean, the stat gains on this seed is just absolutely ridiculous. While I doubt we'll actually see a sub-hour seed, it's definitely going to be a sub-hour 20-minute seed. I mean, we almost have enough hit points for Death Necklace strats, which would be an extra 10 attack power. Level 12 might be a little bit risky. Maybe the attack quite isn't there, but level 13, unless it's an empty eye level, should probably be the go level. Ooh, now up to NG running into a red dragon. One of the most fearsome enemies in the game. We call them the fun police, because once they pull you over, our fun is done. However, by this point, well, yeah. Asmati has found Rimildar and will be getting his keys, which puts him one step closer to being able to get things taken care of. Zarnax finding a metal slime, but also finding out that metal slime has the full wombo combo and has been sent back home. And for those who don't know, the full wombo combo is sleep and DL2 breath. Given the Metal Slime has the highest defense of any monster in the game, yes, more than the Dragon Lord himself, ouch. Elmore St. James, now making his way into Garenham, picked up the 2 pieces of item, sees that it is in fact the jerk here, not the staff cave. Looks like up to NG did hit level 13. I did not catch the stat gains at level 13, but I believe he's at ghost stats now. He just needs to find Staff Cave. Asmati now finding Mountain Cave. He's already got keys, so it's less critical for him. Zarnax now finding, looks like, Hawksness. Asmati taking down an armored knight there fairly easily, as a matter of fact. Up to NG, going back to the second continent, because the coordinates are on the second continent, I believe. Looks like he's going to run into a metal slime, attempt to attack it, find out that they have DL2 breath, and runs away. Zarnax is now trying to tackle the golem. Didn't quite see his stats there. I think the strength was a 78, so yeah, he might need another level. Wouldn't it be just a troll to have to grind through 4 levels just to get enough strength to go after the Dragon Lord? And of course, after defeating the golem, what did Zarnax find? Nothing! Nothing! You found nothing in Hawksness. There is some conversation in chat about whether or not it's a good idea to try to grind to 14. Up to NG is going to do so. He probably doesn't quite feel confident with the strength that he's got. He's looking for probably either strength or hit points. If he gets enough hit points that he can put on the death necklace safely, he's probably going to go. If he gets enough strength that he feels he can take it down, he's going to go. Either way, the rest of the stats are just fine. He does know that golems have DL2 breath, and they do hit hard. He does have the fairy flute to minimize their damage that they do, but it's still gonna be there. Meanwhile, Asmati gets into Tentacle Armory, picks up the Death Necklace, among a few other trinkets. And at this point, I think that even if you could set up a gold grind, which there is a gold chest in the armory, you could technically set it up. It probably wouldn't really be worth the time and effort to do so. There we go. That's the stats he was looking for. He's probably going to finish off the MP, just grind a few more blue dragons since he's already here, and then he's going to go ahead and make his first dive. Attack power of 125. I mean, I could see that with the Death Necklace, but you know, if he wants to go to 15, I don't blame him. Right now, he is in the lead, but the other thing is we have perfect information on what these four runners are doing. He doesn't. And he's got to be feeling, okay, if I've got everything falling into my lap, they've got to be falling into everybody else's lap as well. So, do I grind and get the guaranteed kill, or do I run on 14 and risk a failed dive? Because at this point, a failed dive is really going to probably cost you the race. And so that's got to be running through his head. Do I try and dive now and risk losing the race from a failed dive? Because this is a full Charlock dive, all 7 levels, which can take a while. Or do I grind to 15 to make sure I've got it? He knows there's at least one dangerous mob in Charlock. The rest of them aren't too dangerous that we've seen so far. We haven't actually seen any Axe Knights that I can recall. So, Charlock is, for the most part, fairly tame, except those golems, but they do have the flute to offset that problem. Now, the other thing that is pointed out in chat is maybe he didn't see that red dragons have baby breath, which has neutered their ability to really hurt him. He only has 81 defense power, which isn't amazing. But at the same time, I mean, you know, I think he's going to be taking more than 48 damage from physical attacks. And that is something to keep in mind, because, you know, if you're going, okay, I have 49 hit points, I can go another attack, and then you get bodied for 50, that's going to really suck. Zarnax doing the command, run! From those metal slimes with the full wombo combo. Now, remember, there was, I believe it was, there was a town right next to Charlock, so he can always heal up right before diving. That's not going to be a problem for him. most of the enemies in Charlock aren't too threatening. He probably still is a little bit worried about the red dragons, even though he doesn't need to be. But as you can see, he can take on armored knights here, although he's blowing a lot of magic to do so. He won't want to do that when he's diving Charlock. And here is Charlock, and of course he's going to stop in here at the 6 Gold Inn. We'll leave a torch on for you. Elmore just slept at Stone Man and took off. Not worth his time or effort right now, and I can't blame him. He's on the search for the sword. And up to NG is the first runner on our stream that is in Charlock Castle. And this is the other reason why the armor is generally considered mandatory to take on the Dragon Lord. Not really mandatory, but effectively mandatory, because all of these barrier tiles, that's 15 damage a step. That hurts. That's a couple of heal mores blown just trying to get down to 2nd floor. And that's a pain in the backside that you'd rather not deal with. Oh, Star Wyvern showed up finally. Surprise attack. Just seems to be physically attacking. And he gets away. Asmati in Cantlin getting his coordinates. Zarnax in the back end of Charlock is about to go ahead and get things taken care of. Little bit of a safety herb there on the way down. Maybe it's a bit of a waste, but you never know what you're going to run into. If he did get hit by a golem and got surprise attacked, that could have really been putting him in a dangerous position. He's just going to go ahead and beat down this armored knight. I don't blame him. With his low agility, his odds of running away from them aren't really amazing. It might actually be faster just to fight them and take them out. Also gives you a little bit more experience. Might get that level 15 on your way down. As long as you don't have to blow a heal more in the process, it's all good. He is going through his herbs at a fairly brisk pace, though, which might cause him problems at the very end. We will see how that winds out. This just in from one of our other races. Nest Cardinality is actually on the bottom floor, and Holmes, another runner, is already at the Dragon Lord. So up to NG may not actually come in first, and that decision to try and grind past 14 may have actually cost him first or second place. Apparently Holmes is already level 15. He had a little bit more efficient experience grind, it seems. And now up to NG realizes that the red dragons are not particularly a threat as they merely have baby breath, and just proceeds to beat it down for 255 experience points and gets level 15, power by 5, response speed 1, 12 hit points, and 10 magic points. Now, magic points does not matter. He has no way of recovering that, but the hit points and the attack points are going to be very welcome additions. That will mean that Death Necklace is certainly on the table now. And it's a golem protecting the Dragon Lord, one of the most fearsome foes. If they didn't have the fairy flute, that can just put it to sleep guaranteed. And at 41 damage a hit, this is going to not take very long. That golem is going to get disassembled. Didn't even get a chance to wake up. Alright. Thou art a fool. Now let's see how... preemptive strike and a hurt more. Ooh, not a good start to this fight. Now he's going to go ahead and put on that Death Necklace. That will give him an extra 10 attack power at the cost of 25% max health. But since he's got over 150 hit points, he still will have over 100 hit points, which is going to be more than... Yeah, he's got 138 hit points. Well, okay, it hasn't recalculated yet, but he will still have over 100 hit points. Yeah, Zarnak's just now getting to the town of Cole, unfortunately. He's got to be feeling behind by now. And this just in, Mr. Holmes has finished first place with a SRL time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. DK has finished second place with 1:09:04. He's been getting a lot of minimum rolls. These 11s are really rough for him. But, break out your GGs! Up to NG has defeated the Dragon Lord. However, Ness Cardinality has already finished in third place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 45 seconds, which means up to NG rolling in fourth place. And welcome up to GG.
Hey, what's going on there? How's it going?
So, what about those stat spreads on some of those levels?
Yeah, it was kind of amusing. This newest version of Rando has some pretty funky stat growth. Oftentimes there'll be a stat that just lags way behind. Like you could have 10 or 15 MP like on level 10. We didn't have anything like that happen this time, but there were some pretty big gains here and there, so it's always a little tricky.
Yeah, I think I saw 35 hit points in one level, and I'm like, yikes.
Yeah, in fact, I think I may have been thrown off by some of that because, when I started doing that Blue Dragon grind, I didn't realize really how close we were because, like you said, we got a couple of huge HP gains and all, and I wasn't really factoring in the Death Necklace properly until, I had already gone through a whole cycle with the Blue Dragon, and so I feel like I overgrinded a little bit. Maybe it helped to have an extra level in Charlock, but I don't know. In some ways, maybe it cost me the race, like in terms of overall first place, because it just took an extra few minutes to grind an extra level there that it didn't technically need. Although, with Red Dragons and Armored Knights and Charlock, it's nice to have a little buffer. So I don't know.
Yeah, and of course you didn't know that the Red Dragons had a high chance of just using Baby Breath and were completely a non-issue.
Yeah, I think I may have ran into like one of them on the overworld, and I saw it, but it's not a very big sample.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I guess level 14 was probably enough. Trying to think with the Death Necklace and everything. Like I said, I wasn't even thinking about the Death Necklace when I was first looking for levels, and then I was like, oh no, it's time to go. And I was like in the middle of a level, and I was just like, yeah, I just have to go now. So I don't know if that cost me first place or not. You never know if I would have actually made it through the castle on a lower level, lower agility and a little bit closer with resources, if you have to burn a couple of heal mores. Turns out I didn't have to burn any, so I don't know.
Yeah, this was a pretty tame Charlock. The only real threats were the golems, and you had the flute.
Yeah, golem mini boss. That's a little tricky. So I don't know if. I think it was a guardian, one of the spike tiles too, and I remember I randomly saw one early on in the overworld, and I knew that it had the Dragon Lord breath, but that could be a pretty big gotcha if you were trying to beat a spike tile enemy that was important, and all of a sudden they hit you with that. So I was very careful to just use the flute every time I saw them this time, even just to run away in Charlock. I was just using the flute.
Yeah, I mean that's the safe way to go about doing it. The only problem is when they surprise attack you. Of course, there's not much you can do about that. But that's just going to be one hit, and with the armor, it's a 48 max anyway. So, but did you get a chance to run into the metal slimes?
Yeah, I ended up seeing one during my grind. They happened to be in the swamp cave, so whatever the zone that was, I guess that would be mountain cave too, but I never had to explore mountain cave. But I did see one. Fortunately, it was near the end where I was really buffed up with stats, and I saw the Dragon Lord breath, and so after that I just instantly cast repel so that I wouldn't see them anymore. And
it gets better. They had the full wombo combo. They had sleep as well.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about possibly with the golem too, since I didn't have much of a sample on them. I knew they had the DL2 breath, so it's like, well, you don't really know if they have sleep as well. So that's why I was being extra careful with those in Charlock.
Right, absolutely. And even if they didn't have stop spell, DL2 breath, and just the golem's physical attacks with your relatively low defense power, comparatively speaking, is still a scary thing to run into.
Yeah, it's just I'm a little bummed that I didn't get more aggressive with going on an earlier level, because the whole seed went really well for me. It just the way that it was routed, the map was kind of like it all sort of went one direction. You went across a couple of bridges to the east, and you had to work your way north, and then way up north it started going west towards Charlock and all that. So there wasn't a lot of different ways you could go, and just the fact that I returned out of Rimmeldar to immediately check out the Tentacle Treasury, and then I went through Swamp Cave, and I saw the things that were on the other side. Like the routing just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And of course, once you got the keys, and then you got through Swamp Cave, and you hit Garenham, and you got like everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because the other way to go would be like to try and finish out the first continent. But if I had done that, I would have ended up finding Mountain Cave, and I would have ended up going all through there, which would have been pointless. And you know, a bunch of things like that. So by going over to the second continent, and then Garenham was right there, and then I knew where the jerk was. So the whole thing from there was just like I just had to find the staff cave, and then I knew how to just return back, get the drop. I knew the grind was going to be right there on the way. So kind of, you know, I didn't make any extra trips anywhere. It really worked out well. So I was feeling like I had a good chance to win, and then I just like kind of goofed up on, you know, how strong we were if we had equipped the death necklace. Like you said, we got a bunch of HP all at once, and all of a sudden the death necklace is in play, and I just didn't really factor that in quickly enough.
Yeah, this just in, Beta Strep has finished 5th place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, 40 seconds, and Elmore St. James is now getting into the second phase of the Dragon Lord fight. He's got 10 Healmores on tap. Unfortunately, didn't get a double to start off with. Harrison has finished in 6th place with a time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, 20 seconds.
Yeah, so what level is Elmore fighting at?
Elmore is only level 13.
Okay, so yeah, not getting the opening attack there actually might make a difference for him. With 13 would be pretty close with resources, so...
Yeah, he did go ahead and use the Death Necklace, so there is that, but he's in a much riskier position because he only walked into this fight with 10 Healmores on tap.
Yeah, 10 Healmores, I think level 13... I feel like we only had 120 attack power, maybe with the necklace, that's 130. Ugh.
Yeah, he just hit for 7. His attack power is pretty bad.
I don't know if that's going to work out. Yeah, if he's hitting for 7, that means, yeah, he only has 130 attack power. I don't think he's going to make it. We'll see, though.
Yeah, now Asmati is starting this fight. Now, he has 12 Healmores on tap and is level 15, so... And it starts off with a stop spell, so he's in a much better position.
So he's level 14?
No, 15.
Oh yeah, 15, you have more than enough to go on 15 for sure. Yeah, we got a pretty good power bump there. So I think we were up to 140 with attack power. Ooh. Which means, yeah, you only need like 9 Healmores.
Elmore just used his last Healmore. Dragon Lord breathes. He's got 14. One last attack. Does not work. Gets sent back home by the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, that's rough, because in this one, Charlock is pretty far away. So when you fail against DL2, it's an extra big penalty. I feel like level 14 is the sweet spot. 13 would be really... That would be really tough.
And because he has the cursed necklace, he just got kicked out of the castle and is running around with minimal hit points. And remember how far the nearest town is from the castle.
Yeah, that's brutal. Fortunately, usually you have Erdrick's armor and you can heal walk a little bit.
Yeah, he's already doing the hero walk there. Meanwhile, Smashy has finished 7th place with a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, 57 seconds. Asmati, on the other hand, is doing fairly well with his fight. It's progressing. Barring a miss menu, I don't see this going bad for him. Yeah, there's a 16 attack. So he's pretty much got this on lockdown, barring a miss menu, because we all know you can accidentally hit that hurt more instead of a heal more.
Oh yeah. That will happen sometimes. Sometimes what happens is he does some kind of physical and the screen doesn't turn red, but you know, so a lot of times that's an automatic trigger. Oh, I have to heal, the screen turn red. But then, you know, you'll be under 48 hit points or whatever, and you just like mentally just, whoops, I didn't notice. That's another thing that can happen, but or just a straight up menuing miss menu. That's definitely a thing as well.
Yeah. Not only that, but he did take a 49 physical because remember your armor was low enough you could theoretically get hit for up to 50. But he has won, so break out your GGs. Asmati has defeated the Dragon Lord and will be coming in 8th place.
Yeah, sounds like he also didn't bother with the silver shield. That's the same as me. The way that things were routed for me, I had gotten a large shield somewhere, and then I knew pretty early on that the overworld item was going to be the sword, so that meant that there wasn't really any reason to do a gold grind other than for the silver shield that I saw up in coal, and it just didn't work out. I was just like, yeah, there's no time for that. So yeah, you
Yeah.
did have to be careful for the high physical and the Dragon Lord, but it wasn't too big a deal.
Yeah, that is the thing because that has happened to me before going up against the Dragon Lord and I'm going okay 49 I've got enough room to do another hit and then he bodies me for 50 and sends me home. I've had it happen to me before. It looks like Elmore is actually grinding the entrance of Charlotte Castle instead of going after that blue dragon in the swamp cave.
That's interesting. I remember, I guess there were some pretty weak enemies on the first floor, but
Yeah, he's going after those Axe Knights, and there's his.
it was interesting. Around the point when I was going to be rescuing the princess for, to go get that overworld spot. I ended up exploring the second continent with the princess, and so I ended up having a choice. There was somewhere along the way, I think like Garenham or somewhere. There was an opportunity to like take a death warp and try and
Right,
set up a gold grind, but then you would lose the princess. So it was sort of one or
right.
the other, and I decided to just cast Return and rescue the princess. And from there was no more real opportunity to set up a grind.
Right. And welcome, Asmati. GG.
Hello, and good afternoon, evening, and night. That was a disaster. First
Hey,
15 minutes was wow.
yeah, you actually had the roughest start of everybody on stream.
And everybody off stream, and like 10 players running SMZ3. I think I did worse than the Red Sox tonight. Like, that was just awful.
yeah, it did take you a few minutes to get your tempo going, but once you did, it was actually pretty good. And as was pointed out to me, Elmore actually can't go after the blue grind because the swamp cave is in Tentacle Castle and he's cursed.
Oh no.
Ah, I see.
Did he
Yes.
fail at a.
Yeah, he went in at 13
Ooh.
and he got back attacked.
Mm.
Yeah, 13 just doesn't seem like it's quite enough to me. I think 14 was the sweet spot.
Mhm.
I ended up getting 15 on the way. Asmati, it sounds like you did the same.
Yeah, I was like, 14 is fine as long as there's not like a red dragon with a spike. And I didn't know what they had at all. So I was like, I can just get it on the way down. It's easy. Wizards and Axe Knights are basically free. So I did that and it worked out nice.
Yeah,
Plus just a golem, so it's
I
fine.
ran into enough red dragons and armor knights that I didn't feel like running from that I just got it like that.
Oh, Don, this just in. Diabetes the Second has finished in 9th place with a time of 1 hour 23 minutes 14 seconds. And it looks like Zarnax is rounding the corner and is dealing with the gate. Dealing with the golem there, guarding the final guy.
Mm-hmm. It was a fascinating map.
That was certainly a trolley map.
Yeah, you had to go all the way north, and then all the way south, and then all the way back, and then all the way back again.
Did you end up like finishing out first continent first, or did you? What
Yes.
happened when you got keys? Okay, yeah. So I feel like that's what ended up helping me is that I just because it was so linear getting over to where Sharlock was and where Rimmildar was, I just cast Return right out of Rimmildar and just to check out Tanticle Castle and stuff, and I felt like I was just gonna walk right back there. But then it was like Swamp Cave in the basement, and that just led me to like all kinds of good stuff. So long story short, I didn't have to explore the mountain cave at all and that sort of thing.
Sure.
So yeah, that ended up helping out. But that's just exploration luck.
I mean, all I had to do after Imuljar was Mountain Cave, so I was like, it's there. And then when I was in Mountain Cave, that was the end of my exploration down there. I saw that from that corner, I could see the Swamp Cave, the other entrance, and the town. I'm like, oh, I have to return as soon as I go through this, which was helpful because you could spot it. It was just across the lake.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't see was, the Staff of Rain Cave, which was way over there as well. So I had,
Mhm.
I knew I had to like walk back there just to look for it, and it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so unfortunately, with the Staff Cave being all the way over there, and then the Rainbow Drop Cave being where it was, there was a lot of back and forth, like you said.
Meanwhile, Zarnax is now entering the second phase of the Dragon Lord fight with a back attack for 46, but still gets at
Owie.
least one hit in. Doesn't get the double, but at least gets a single, and he is level 15 with 12 heal mores in the tank. This is pretty much his fight to lose.
Yeah, he should be good. Yeah, I what was it, like 10 minutes before I hit level 2?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, what was going on with that? You just didn't use the fairy water, or?
I did the fairy water on a magician once, and then I reset because the second level was terrible.
Right, gotcha.
And I was like, I can probably find a scorpion, but then I just got trolled everywhere. I peeked around the map a little bit to see if I could find a better level 2 zone or a town or something. And then I couldn't find a magician. I found a bunch of Drakies and ghosts,
so brutal.
and I died to like 5 of them.
I did the
It was
same thing.
absurd.
I reset after the magician, and then, but fortunately for me, I found a scorpion right away. And then what was funny is I didn't see another scorpion for like forever after that. And it was
Mhm.
at one point it was the enemy I was looking for, and it was like, where are the scorpions? But yeah, I got one at the right time. I was hoping I did a little peek into the other zones because sometimes like a metal scorpion or a Drakima are really nice, but yeah, I didn't find any of those.
Yeah, I was I tried to fairy water a droll and I missed, basically. And that was bad. Like all the bad things happened. It was an adventure.
Yeah, Drolls are a little rough because their HP is a little higher. But if you get like a max roll and then you manage to do like 1 damage a couple of times, it might work out.
Yeah, I mean at that point I had like no hit points left. It was a Hail Mary. But yeah, no, that was
Yeah,
interesting.
starts like that when it's really kind of like a wide range of how people do just getting off the first couple levels. It's a little almost like unfair. It's like just so much RNG involved, but so it's like some swamp starts where like some people just can't get an enemy and other people are like, oh, what do you mean? I just took a couple steps, got the right enemies. And the other person's just dying in the swamp for like 20 minutes like, looking for enemies.
All right, break out your GGs. Zarnax has come in at 10th place. No, excuse me. A Blue Lobster finished 10th. Actually sniped 10th place from Zarnax, who will actually be coming in 11th.
GG for Zarnax.
Looks like Elmore St. James has hit level 14 in his Charlock grind. He's continuing to grind.
Almost 15. Just a couple more things. Guess he's looking for a little more security.
Yeah. Question, Asmati, did you ever run into any metal slimes?
One. I got 1 hit on it. I think I was like level 7 or 8 at the time.
Ooh, that sounds like it went poorly. I didn't see one for a long time, fortunately, because they were pretty nasty.
Yeah, they had the full wombo combo.
Oh, did they? He slept me, and then I attacked, and then it ran away. And he did not breathe, so I missed out on that fun.
Yeah, they had the full wombo combo, sleep and DL2 breath. Elmore got that.
Interesting that Elmore went for it on 13, but now he's going all the way to 15. I guess part of the issue is once you're already cursed, you don't have a lot of hit points to like run through Charlock, and he probably knows that there's Red Dragons and Armored Knights at this point.
And I mean, there's Breckenary right there, although it looks like he's heading to a different town to heal up.
Is he going to Cole? Does he not know Breckenary's up there?
He should. I don't see why.
There was a town like just 2 steps away from Charlock. It was like
it's a screen northeast.
Yeah, there's one due north of Charlock, and then there's Breckenary that's like 1 screen to the east and a little bit up. It looks like he's going to Cole instead. And
Yeah.
welcome, Zarnax. GG.
We can't hear you.
Boom, boom.
Sorry, something's going on with my speakers. I cannot hear you. Let me try and fix that.
We'll just pretend we're interviewing. Yeah, so I got the armor at, what was it, 40 minutes, I want to say?
Mm-hmm.
That was,
I think that town's actually pretty easy to miss. What was that in Cole, right? And
yeah, I
the
just
first
couldn't
time I
get
was
there.
up there, I didn't go the right way. I didn't see the town the first time, but unfortunately, the second time, I went a different coastline. I ended up getting it, but I feel like you could actually go for a long time without seeing that town.
Mm-hmm. It was sneaky.
Elmore is vending at Cole, and there are not one but two NPCs that could end up blocking him in.
Rip.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, because Breckenary also has an item shop, if that's what he was concerned about. Because Rimildar doesn't, so I could see why. Maybe
There's
he went.
both of these NPCs blocking him.
Yeah,
Truly the biggest villain in the Dragon Quest series, NPC pathing.
Honestly, I still don't understand why we have NPCs in the randomizer. They should just all be just eliminated.
Yeah, apparently
of them
Zarnax is
have
having
been.
trouble hearing us.
I'm here now.
Ah, there you are. All right, welcome back. How's
Hooray.
it going? So-
It's going.
So what about that stat spread?
Oh, that was great. I think it was level 11. We got a total of 70 something points. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yep. Also, this just in, Stags 28 has finished in 12th place with a time of 1 hour 31 minutes and 28 seconds. And
This
it
was
looks
a
like
huge turnout
Elmore.
tonight, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
great to see. There's a lot of big names tonight, and just tons of people here. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to see fresh names as well as the old names, because next tournament's going to be coming up in a couple of months, as I recall.
Yeah, it should be. I don't think I've kind of been. I've been pushing, trying to get races happening, but haven't been around to actually watch a lot of them. So getting beat by a name or two that I don't think I've raced against before is a little humbling, but also exciting. So Harrison in particular, I'm gonna shout out because he finished ahead of me. So GG. Blue Lobster, haven't seen in a long time. But,
Yeah, that is a name I haven't seen in quite a while.
But man, that was a brutal race. I knew about 2 minutes in that I had made a mistake, and then 5 minutes later I fell behind the entire rest of the race.
What'd you do?
I know it's impossible to watch 4 races at once and analyze what everyone's doing and keep track of strategy and all that. My first encounter was a magician,
Mhm.
and I didn't use my fairy water. And it took me. I started I had a feeling that 2 wasn't going to be very good. So I spent probably 4 or 5 minutes looking for a scorpion, and never had any luck. And so I ended up getting level 3, almost 8.5 minutes in, and already I felt way behind.
You were ahead of me.
Wow. Sounds like I had the same issue Smashy did. He had a comment in the race channel. The one early exploration trip where agility doesn't fail me, and I managed to miss all the locations.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah,
also, this just in. EMP_ any amount of money has finished in 13th place with a time of 1 hour 35 minutes 9 seconds. And it looks like Elmore St. James is in the final level of Charlock, rounding the corner now at level 15 with 12 Healmores in the tank. Unless something dramatic happens that causes him to blow through a couple of Healmores, this should be in the bank for him.
So did you miss Cole for a long time, Zarnax? That was the one I felt
Cole-
like could be missed.
Cole was the last town I found. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
God.
that's rough. I could see that happening with that map. Yep.
I saw it. When Breckenary was the first town I found. Charlock and then Breckenary. And then exploring that area, I saw Cole, and I was like, is that in like that little nook that I missed, or is there another way to get there? And I ended up exploring everything else first. Yeah, that was brutal. I had a couple issues with the other, with Swamp Cave and on the other side. Lots of armored knights in my early exploration, negating a bunch of progress.
There go a couple of Healmores.
Yeah, unfortunately, he could not get away from that. He is down to, I think, 11 Healmores now.
Still should be okay, as long as the golem is friendly. Oh, another AK. Yowza.
Oh, he's 15. He should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
at this point, you should almost start attacking instead of trying to run from the AKs. It would probably be faster.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I
And
a lot of run luck on my Charlock dive.
And Fatboy 891 has finished 14th place with a time of 1 hour 35 minutes and 42 seconds.
It's funny you mentioned the magician in the beginning, Zarnax. Like, I don't know if it's that clear cut, because I know Osmati and I, we both did get a magician with fairy water early on, but then level 2 was such a dud that we both reset and went looking for something better.
Yeah,
So,
I was like 6 strength. Oh god.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was that big of a mistake to pass on the magician. It's just that you had to find the scorpion, and apparently you didn't find it.
Oh no.
That's just poor luck not seeing the scorpion.
Elmore trying to hero walk to try and get some experience points and save his resources ran into an Axe Knight with Hurt More.
Womp.
Wait, so you did find a scorpion?
Yeah, I ended up finding a scorpion. I think Osmati had trouble finding one, but
I did not see a scorpion until an hour into the seed.
I think the scorpion may have been up in the north zone, but I'm not totally sure about that because I went looking for it later on and it just wasn't there. So I don't know.
Man.
Yeah, but so all we needed after that was the slime. And so that's how I got started, but
going into the second phase of Dragon Lord with 67 hit points and out of herbs.
Really needs a not back attack.
Well, no back attack. Decent hit, but yeah.
He's fine.
He's in great shape.
He's fine. He's still got 10 heal mores on tap, so
that's a lot.
He should be good.
Yeah.
He's got a shield. That's like cheating.
Oh, he's a shield. Oh, he's super fine.
How did he get a silver shield? He must have done the gold grind.
There was one in coal, and there was a gold grind available. Yep.
Yeah, there was a gold grind available, but I mean, most other people didn't even bother with it simply because why when I have stats like this?
I don't think I ever even saw a large shield. Not when I could afford one, for sure. I literally didn't even have I had no shield at all.
Got a large in Garenham?
There was like one shop that had a large shield, yeah.
Yeah, there was one in Breckenary, I believe, and I think there was also one in Cantlin.
There was not one in Breckenary, for sure. I checked that right before I went.
Yeah, I don't think there was one in Breckenary.
Apparently DK did a gold grind out of Mountain Cave before he even went to the second continent to pick up the gold grind and picked up the silver shield in Cantlin.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking might be. For some people that finish the first continent first, you could end up in Mountain Cave and then just get the gold grind out of there. That would make sense. For me, I didn't go into Mountain Cave, so there was just no good way for me to do a gold grind without just dumping a bunch of time into it.
Yeah, it'd be a long walk to grave just to die.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So this is one of the largest races ever, which is pretty cool.
There we go.
17?
Break out your GGs. Elmore St. James has defeated the Dragon Lord.
With 22 MP to spare.
With 22 MP to spare, cool shades on.
Make sure you do your math right. Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the largest ones for sure.
Yeah, 22 is the record. I know that, and this is 18 is pretty close. That's cool. Bodes well for our upcoming summer tournament.
I'll be curious if he pops in here what he did with his math. That something maybe trying to factor in the death necklace. He thought he was good to go on 13, and I don't know what was the deal there. Maybe he'll stop in.
GG's everybody. Step aside so we can get Elmore in here. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.
GGs, thanks for racing.
Thank you, Sneaky, for the comms. I guess we never got a partner for you today, so.
That's okay. I did not mind whatsoever. This was a pretty awesome race. And welcome.
Whoa.
So,
GGs.
tell me about that metal slime.
Honestly, the last 20 minutes has made me forgot pretty much every other part of the race.
Yeah, you were the only one that I saw that actually ran into the full wombo combo from the metal slime.
I did as well.
Oh, you did as well.
After I saved Gwylin.
Yeah,
in Swamp Cave. So I
that's
had to save her
right.
again. Yeah, that was awful.
And thank you for the raid, Elmore St. James. Yeah, there were a couple of people apparently that got womboed here by the deadly metal slime. But yeah, you tried to dive at 13. What was the logic behind that?
With God as my witness, I thought I had 130 AP before putting on the death necklace. I don't know what was going on, but my first swing I hit for 10, and I'm like, low roll to start with. Then I hit for 7, and I'm like, wait, did I do my math wrong?
Oopsie.
And it was just, oh my goodness. And I'm like, okay, well, might as well. I should have thrown the swag more at the end. I was just kind of in a fugue. So I ground to 15. I finished it off. But with Breckenary, Cantlin, with everything you had to go through the castle to get to, it was either a soft lock or, luckily I was Charlock wasn't on the other side, or else it would have been like a dot quit right there.
Breckenary.
So it's interesting. It was like 130 with the necklace, right? So somehow you got the number in your mind and thought.
Yeah, I think I was like, okay, as soon as I hit
necklace.
120, it'll be 130. And I'm like, okay, I got 130. So that's probably what it was.
Yeah, Breckenary was really close to Charlock. It was only one screen over.
Was it to the left of Charlock?
To the right.
Oh, wow. Did I just never see that? Wow. Lordy.
And Rimildar was just above it.
That's another thing, is I didn't see Rimildar until I went for my final dive. Because I was like, there's nowhere to heal up except for Cole. And so then I go up there, I'm like, wait, there's Rimildar right here? I mean, I found my key in, I believe, the grave. Or no, it was Mountain Cave. Mountain Cave.
Yeah, it was Mountain Cave where you found your key. Yeah.
I don't think I ever explored Mountain Cave.
So I guess that's an interesting question then. If you knew where Rimildar was and you were doing your grind in Charlock, I wonder how many people would think that it's worth it to go all the way to another town just to get the herbs. I assume it was just because you needed herbs. I wonder if it's just better to just kind of like go into Charlock without herbs at that point. Like, I don't know. It's just such a big walk just for that.
Both times right down, I got there's Arbor Knights, one each time down that I had to heal more from. And so herbs was kind of a mandatory thing, I think, for this one, unless you got really lucky.
Yeah, especially once you were already cursed and you had your lower max hit points, you had less room to play around with.
When was this?
Well, so he had failed a dive because he went in on 13, so then he was already cursed, and so he finished up his grind in Charlock, and he got 15 in Charlock, but the thing I'm wondering is if, Rimildar is right there, if you just need the inn, but of course Rimildar doesn't have herbs, so...
Right. At 15, I feel like pretty clearly don't need herbs. I mean, seeing as you finished with 22 MP left over.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not. It was one of those things where it already failed one dive. I didn't want to do it again.
That's
Yeah, I totally don't blame you on that. Brutal.
Yeah, I mean, what a race. I mean, at first, level 2, of course, was absolutely dismal, but then level 5 and level 6, you got hurt more and heal more, respectively. And then level 7 was like all the stats. And at that point, it was like, wow, now we got a race.
See,
it was
interesting,
fantastic.
I think we all felt that way, but I remember from 8 to 9, it seemed to me the best place to grind was casting Hurtmore on Drolls and Wolves. Because every other zone I could find, there were so many targets that I couldn't cast Hurtmore on.
I hurt more so many wolves in this run. It's just hilarious. I mean,
really
like you said, there's nothing else.
Yeah, you're right. The main path that went out on the map, it was like wizards and demon knights just everywhere. Yeah.
And stone men.
It wasn't until I was level 10 when we got that 25 agility when I really started exploring. And that happened like 50
Yeah, it's funny
minutes in.
too with the early Hurtmore. Sometimes you don't have a lot of MP, and that's like frustrating. This time it wasn't too bad, but the problem was there was no locations like anywhere. I kept walking and walking. It was just like, well, I'm out of MP now, and I still haven't seen the town. So like I took a few deaths just like that because it seemed like we should be good to go, but then the nearest town was like forever.
Yeah, there was also a place with some werewolves and wraith knights that were also viable Hurtmore targets that a couple of runners ran into, but yeah, I mean, with Hurtmore, I'm like, okay, now this is a race. Now they can take out, like, wyverns and wolves, and even axe knights are one-shot territory now, and they're gonna just, and then, like, you know, it kind of doesn't. But it looks like we're probably going to be kicking this over after we're done here to the Zelda 1 randomizer race on SpeedGaming 2.
Very nice. Thanks to the tracker as well. Thanks, Sneaky, for going solo, and our restreamer, of course.
Yes. Yep. Thanks very much.
Any last thoughts on there before we wrap it up here?
Not for me. Just GG's, nice race, and
just double check your stats. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Nope, go ahead.
I was going to say the only comment for me was double check your stats before you put on the death necklace.
Good tip. Good tip.
All right, in that case, this is Sneaky the Lost, Kemian Renokai being our tracker for the evening, and this is going to be it for the evening. Big race, lot of fun tonight. Glad to have been here, but until then, take it easy.